Travis Wayne Goodsell. So I understand that couples are watching my videos, or at least the Book of Mormon series videos that I've got going, that I started for their family home evening as former Mormons. So cute. Everyone's having fun but me. And so everybody knows the church doesn't answer questions from Mormons. Mormons have lots of questions, and the church is refusing to answer them. They get up at the pulpit of conference and say, if you have any questions, refer them to your stake president for disciplinary action. Jeremy Runnels, what have you done? He's the CES letter guy. And so, as a result, Mormons have to make up their own answers. If the church isn't going to give them answers, then they got to make up their own. And so Mormons are divided on how to interpret Mormonism. And so this is what you're seeing in the news lately concerning the Bible. There are Mormons down in Davis County who believe that the Bible is, I guess, porn, and have banned it from classrooms or school libraries. And so because that hit the news, you have other Mormons who are now protesting at the U.S. Capitol, or the Utah Capitol, to try to override the Davis County government, because they made a law on what books to ban, and the Bible fit into that category. And so, yeah, it gets worse, because then you get Mormons who come to my channel. I don't go to them and drop a video on them that they didn't want. They come to me. All of you come to me. YouTube doesn't want to refer my videos for you. The church has made sure of that. So you looked for it, you saw it, you chose to click on the video. Well, the question is, why? Is it because you're looking for answers? You're hoping I have it? Or have you made up your own answers and you're coming to attack me so that I am forced to believe your will concerning Mormonism? So there's this Barry Borass who today was flagged by YouTube, and nothing was done, and he came back again to attack. And so he says, where do clowns like you come from? The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, born and raised in the covenant. See, he doesn't want to acknowledge this, because I can't be. I'm disloyal. No Mormon would be disloyal. I mean, that would be unthinkable. I mean, it would be like the Book of Mormon, having a passage in the Book of Mormon, like, say, I don't know, Helaman chapter 6, verse 24, where it would be policy of evil Mormons to go after whistleblowers. And so then he's doing more ad hominem. See, clowns, he has a thing with clowns apparently, because clowns make children laugh, or try to if he's not scaring them. You laugh and we laugh at you. Clowns, you seeing the pattern here? And so Beam and Moat, this is his first video, and already he's judging me with fallacy arguments. And so it's a false accusation, and so it reveals him. He's the clown. He is the one we should be laughing at. They're all gonna laugh at you. Carrie reference. And so this is the one from the Zion City of God who also attacked me. Church of Jesus Christ, the Light Bearer, has another opportunity for Millennial Zion. And so, after his clown fetish, he then goes on to, what is it you're hiding? I'm doing a video. What do you mean hiding? If I wasn't doing a video, then I'd be hiding something, aren't I? And he says, definitely something. It's got to be something. Now you're going to go into the basement of my apartment, into the pizza parlor, to find the kidnapped children. I'm drinking their blood. God, what a pathetic guy this is. He is a clown. And so then what is sad, beam him out, is you clearly have mental issues. Yay! He's going for threats. Because I've talked to you about psychology and the threat they are to this nation. Cha-ching! They weaponized him too. And he's a Mormon. But he doesn't bring up the church at all. He never brings up any comment about what he disapproves of concerning the church. He's going at me, and he knows nothing of the church. He's not even bringing up anything about the church. How could you say that about the president of the church? How could you say that about the church? No, none of it. So he says, I need help. Really? From a psychologist? You think I should be electrocuted? That's what they've done to gays for 50 billion years. It was just banned in 2021, and then the church tried to bring it back, which means they want it brought back for the millennium next year. And so, yeah, poor little abused baby. Who's being the baby? You're being the baby. Who's the baby? You're a baby. Goo, goo, goo. And no one was there to help you. The Bible is awesome. So many true precepts in that book. And so then he follows up on Church of Jesus Christ. Notice how I'm changing it. I used to put Mormon Church, Mormons, Church or LDS Church, and I switched. And guess what? It's because I'm testing YouTube's algorithms. And guess what? It's worse using Church of Jesus Christ than LDS Church or Mormons. So why is the Church of Jesus Christ getting so many views after having the algorithms fixed in 2019? But he then comments on this one. Again, it's having to do with Millennial Zion being fully restored. Nelson declared it from the church news. He could have looked at it. He chose not to. And says, I'm lying through my teeth. Am I? Reading what they say on their own website, and I'm the one lying? You do know that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is all about the latter days in preparation for the millennium. The Millennial Zion. The Mormons just don't bother to know Mormonism. They don't study. And I trace this back to the 1990s, right after the church caused the huge earthquake of a scandal with September 6th. It was in the month of September where the church just went berserk. They just went psycho killer clown on the church history department at BYU. And some others who I don't think were working at BYU, but were doing research on the church as Mormons. And people were fired, people were excommunicated. September 6th. 6 people. And so because of that, ex-Mormondom got a huge boost. Gerald and Sandra Tanner were getting major popularity from that incident, and it was a big scandal that got exposed because the church made a big deal out of it. And so everybody wanted to know what's going on here. The church is covering up church history? What are they covering up? What are they hiding? Definitely something. And the church will never answer. They'll never give us answers to our questions. And so from that, you get Jeremy Reynolds with a CES letter, who's asking questions by telling the CES director rather than asking questions. Jeremy. And so there's a wrong way to go about it, which Mormons are doing. And then there's the right way to do it, which is what I did. You know, remember? Born and raised in the Covenant Mormon. I had questions. I didn't go berserk and keep them a sacred secret and demand that everybody accept my created answers for what the church isn't answering me. No. I became an anthropologist of the ancient Middle East. Science. And did I find out that Joseph Smith was a fraud? That he's not a translator? Nope. I confirmed he is legitimate. And I've finished his works. King Follett Discourse? Yeah. I now know how to do his manner of translation. Finished it. Book of Abraham? Yep, finished it. Did you know it was incomplete? Book of Joseph? Did you know we even had that? Did it. Because I know how he did it. And it's not because I made it up. There are Mormons who do that. When I was at the University of Utah, I was in a biblical Hebrew, or not biblical Hebrew, it was regular Hebrew, which was technically Israeli Hebrew, which is French Hebrew. I'm sitting there in class, and she's speaking Hebrew to us, giving us an example of, or Israeli, she calls it Hebrew. It's Israeli, big difference. And I'm listening to it, and I'm recognizing a French accent. I'm going, this is French. This is a French accent. And then she takes us into the manuals eventually, and going over who created this modern Hebrew. Guess what? He's French. Yeah. But one of the students in the class was Mormon. She was from the South, down in Dixieland. And she claimed that she had translated I'm not sure, I can't remember much of it anymore, and I wasn't allowed to have a copy of it, and I have never found it online anywhere. But supposedly she had obtained some kind of writing. I don't know if it was on a wall or papyrus or caves, but she claimed to have found this, and she showed it. She brought it to class one day and showed me, and and said that she had made a translation of it, but wouldn't give me the translation of it, sort of. She gave an explanation rather than a translation, following the pattern of Joseph Smith. He gave a translation and an explanation. And Mormons think it's a translation. No! The text is the translation. The explanation is an explanation. Can you not understand English? But, yeah, she was just making it up. And I could tell she was making it up because it wasn't based on science. And so, can you imagine if, for example, the Jews, they wrote Scripture, and then to have another religion come along and culturally appropriate their Scripture and use their religion's interpretation upon the Jewish Scripture? That would be an abomination, wouldn't it? You'd call that church the Great and Abominable Church for doing that. And obviously their Christ is a fake. He's an abomination, right? If you don't know which religion I'm referring to in this hypothetical example, then should I use Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon as an example? Suppose the Book of Mormon was culturally appropriated by it's right there and I can't figure it out, and I'm trying to figure it out in an earlier video, and a disgruntled Mormon who's not happy with Joseph and the way he's running this church, so he took the Book of Mormon and pulled the same stunt, used his interpretation of his interpreted religion to be imposed over the Book of Mormon. Because obviously it's the learning of the Jews, so you'd want to use the learning of the Jews on the Book of Mormon, right, Mormons? Would be an abomination to use, like, say, Christianity for a hypothetical example. To impose Jesus, even though Jesus is in there, it says Jesus, but it's the learning of the Jews, so it's not Jesus. Exactly. And so, yeah, you have to use your own primary research, because the church isn't giving you the answers and they're lying to us. So that's what all of us have to do. Is exactly what I did. And none of you did. Only I did, and that's how I'm getting treated. Not to mention the church trying to have me assassinated. It's a wonderful life. And so, yeah, Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon are not Christian. That's the big lie. The Bible is not Christian. That's the big lie for 1700 years. That's why Brigham Young used that big lie for his big lie of Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon. And so I'm doing the Book of Mormon videos to answer all of your questions that the church refuses to answer. And then Mormons, rather than doing what I did, make up their own answers and then are weaponized to attack anybody who will not accept their belief and their version of Mormonism. Mormons are the enemy. And they choose it. And they embrace it. And regardless of Nelson coming out and ordering Mormons not to do what Barry did to me, Barry still did it. Because he's not a good person. He doesn't even obey his own prophet. Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if that hypothetical scripture in verse 23 might explain that. It is 23, isn't it? Or is it 22? It's one of those. Before we get into 24. For whistleblowers. Oh, not Doctrine and Covenants. Book of Mormon. Helaman. Chapter 6. Chapter 6. 20. Yep, 22. Oh, 23. Sorry. I was right the first time. That they might murder, plunder, steal, commit whoredoms, and all manner of wickedness, contrary to the laws of the land, or their country. Their country. They violate their own laws of their country to cover up. And also the laws of their God. Mormons are in violation of the laws of their God when they attack. I can read the Book of Mormon. Jesus said, hate everyone. Send them death threats too. Is that how the primary hymn goes? That's the kind of lyrics I rewrote in primary. Follow the prophet, follow the prophet, follow the prophet, straight down to hell. I'm bored. I'm in the older primary, and I'm stuck with all these little children. So yes, I'm making up words to the songs. Been doing it ever since.